Devante, I want to ask about the how to practice the little craving and contentment on the layman life.
Pardon.
Uh, Practice the little craving. Don't want too much,
How to
and the
reduce
contentment.
the craving.
Uh,
Yeah. How to
yeah,
reduce the craving.
yeah, how to reduce the craving and to satisfy with everything we have and don't want too much about the property.
Okay.
Feeling on the sutta is feeling enough with what we have.
Okay. Whenever we want to reduce the kilesas could be like a greed, could be anger, could be conceit, could be jealousy or envy. So any of them. When we talk about reducing those kilesas, so first we have to know the bad consequences. The bad consequences they can bring to us. Means we have to know their flaws, their disadvantages. We have to know. So the more we know the flaws, disadvantages, bad consequences they can bring, so the more desire will arise, to lessen them, to reduce them. So desire will be there. So desire is important because in order to practice, in order to develop the energy, without desire we cannot do. So the stronger desire, the stronger energy. So if we have, when we talk about the stronger energy means we will work harder. So we can say the stronger desire, the harder the the harder we work. So first we need to know the flaws, disadvantages, the bad consequences these kilesas brings. We have to know, then the desire will be there, then hard working. So typically if we talk about the greed or attachment, so let's say at home sometimes we may be attached to something. It could be the souvenir, it could be something that we have bought, that we really like it. So we are so attached to that thing, that object. So when that thing or the object, in case if we lost, or in case it damaged, or in case it breaks down, then what happens? We feel very sad. The sorrow will be there, sometimes even lamentation. So the more the greed, the more sorrow and lamentation. So if less greed, then less sorrow and lamentation. So we have to figure out, we have to discover in this way, oh, because of the attachment, too much attachment to that object, that is why I am feeling so bad. I'm because of that the sorrow is arising, because of that lamentation is arising. If no attachment, then there is no chance to arise the sorrow and lamentation, or the bad feelings or the sad feelings. So no chance to arise. So in this way, we have to figure out, oh, this is the reason. The greed is the reason. This is just the example. It could be the attachment to the objects, the things that we have in our room or in our home, the things around us, or it could be even the objects as a person also. So if we have so attached to any person, then when we have to separate, then at that time the the sorrow and the lamentation will be there. Okay, let's say it is not about separating, but if something happened to him or her, like he or she is not feeling good, or something happened to him or her, accident, even minor accident, at that time also, we will be so sad, we will feel the sorrow will be there, lamentation will be there, bad feelings, very bad feelings will be there. Sometimes because of that, even we cannot eat, we cannot sleep. So why all these things are happening? Because of the strong attachment. So in this way, we have to figure out that, oh, because of this attachment, all these things are happening, all these bad feelings are arising. So we have to figure out the flaws of the attachment. Last time when we talk about the kama chanda, at that time also we talk that kama chanda is like a debt. So if debt is there, then we have to respect a lot to the creditor. Though he or she is scolding us or behaving so harshly, bad behavior, though he or she is behaving so badly, we have to endure. We cannot say anything in return. We always need to show our respect to the creditor. Similarly, if we have attachment to the object or to the person, then the more attachment to the object or the person, the more respect we have to show. And again, at the same time, we talk the essential objects are like the piece of the meat. Last time we talked, like if we are carrying out, holding the piece of the meat, like the kite. When kite is holding or carrying out the piece of meat, then it has to endure so many pickings of the other kites. So the longer holding the piece of meat, the longer the kite has to bear the sufferings, the picking of the other kites. So same thing, the longer we attach to the object, the longer we have to suffer. Attachment, greed is something which never says enough. It always says want more, want more. It always says want more. It never says that enough. Like first we want like $100. When we get the $100, then it says again, I want $200, then 300. So in this way, attachment, greed never says enough. It always wants more. So that's why the another example given for the greed, for the hunger is like a fire. When we deliver the fuel, or when we put the fuel on the fire become more bigger. The fire become bigger. So similarly, when the greed asks to have something, if we provide the everything is asking, it becomes more stronger, it's become more bigger, it's become larger, it's become more vast. So that is the nature of the greed, like a fire. The more we put fuel in the fire, the larger it becomes, the bigger it becomes, similarly to the attachment. So in this way, we have to contemplate the flaws of the attachment. And the next thing is the proximate cause of arising attachment, lobha, is mentioned as when we feel delightful on the object, when we think something is good or the delightful or pleasing, then at that time mind attached to that object. So it could be any object, it could be non-living things or the living things as well. So on those things, if we view like a good, delightful, pleasing, then it is likely to arise the attachment. Let's take an example like there is a person. We have never met him or her. We meet, okay, let's say we met him or her. So before meeting him or her, we have no attachment. And after meeting him or her, we did the friendship, then we get close to him or her. Then when we see the delightfulness on him or her, then definitely attachment arises to him or her. When we look him or her as a good, as a pleasant, as a delightful, then attachment arises. But again, there is a person to whom we have attachment. But as soon as we come to see some flaws on him or her, then what happens? On the place of attachment, detachment arises. Maybe anger maybe take place. Anyhow, detachment arise. When we come to see, oh, that person is no good, or he is no good, or she is no good, she is doing such a bad thing, she is betraying, and so on. When we come to see the bad things or the bad activities or the bad characters of him or her, then we detach. So that's why in order to detach, what we need to consider is consider the object is not a pleasant, not a good, not delightful. Means we have to see the flaws of the object. If we come to see the flaws of the object, then no attachment has chance to arise on any object. Okay, so here we should not misunderstood. Like I just mentioned, if it is about the person, we have to look, we have to consider his or her flaws. Means it does not means that we have to like consider about his bad characteristics or the bad natures in behavior. So we should not, because if we are considering, if we consider in that way, then uh, anger will arise. This is not the way. We should not replace anger in a place of attachment. So what the text really does means we have to see the flaws of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. So that is the main point. That is the main point. Seeing, considering the objects or the things, or seeing the flaws of the objects or the things is mainly the suffering, impermanence, the non-self, and the suffering. And it is only possible by practicing meditation. By contemplating also, sometimes it may work. It may work, but the best way is practicing meditation. By practicing meditation, when we come to see the main flaws of all the objects, like objects are always arising and passing away, that's why they are impermanent, and hence they are suffering and the non-self. When we come to see these common natures, common to the all the things which are existing in the world, when we come to see this common nature, then at that time automatically the attachment to the things which are existing in this world, whether they are living or the non-living things, attachment will decrease. Okay, hope understood.